Hello friends, this is Karen from Picket Fence Studios, and for today's video I will be making this card featuring stamps and dies from a past release, and I hope you like it. I will be using Life Sucks Without You stamp, which is a 2x3 stamp. This is seriously die and it comes with a shadow die, and I'm loving this type of font. This is English brick wall stencil and it's so beautiful. These stamps and dies are from previous releases, but I will be using them in today's video. Let's begin. I placed the English brick wall stencil on top of an A2 panel, and I will apply distress oxide inks with two life-changing blender brushes. I started with antique linen distress oxide ink, and as you are going to see, I will cover the whole panel with this color. Next, I will apply crackling campfire distress oxide ink, but just in some areas. I won't be covering too much of this panel with this color, but I'll make sure it is dark enough to pop up from the background. I suggest you spraying pixie spray from Thermoweb on your stencil so you can keep it in place. I forget to do it myself, and that's why my stencil is kind of shaking from time to time. Okay, now I go back with antique linen distress oxide ink, mostly around the border of this panel. And here I have finished the background of this panel. Let's jump into stamping this bird from Songbirds stamp set from Picket Fence Studios. And to do that, I will be using the Mini Misty along with gingerbread hybrid ink from scrapbook.com, which is a copy-friendly ink. Now I'm ready to begin coloring, and I will be using Y000, Y02, and Y11. This is going to be a very simple coloring. I'm basically just adding color to this image without doing much of a blending. So I started with my lightest color, which is Y000, and then I jumped to my darkest, that is Y02, to add just a bit of shading. I'm mostly coloring around the bird's neck and chest with this Copic. Next, I'll use Y11, and here is where I'm going to be making a little bit of blending with Y02 and Y11. Finally, I go back to Y000, and the next set of copy colors are going to be BG000 and B00. Again, I started with the lightest color, which is BG000, and I finished adding colors with B00 all around the birdie's head and feathers. As you can see, I also added some small dots to the birdie for a bit of texture using E18 copy marker. Now let's follow to die cut this birdie using the matching die, and here it is. And I will save this for later because I'm going to show you the seriously word die. Off screen, I die cut 3 pieces of this word die. One was die cut from gold mirror cardstock, and the other 2 out of white cardstock. I glued these 2 white die cuts together, and then I put them behind the gold die cut just to get a thicker look. Remember this, I was very careful attaching the gold die because it was kind of flimsy and I didn't want glue in parts where I didn't need it. And don't forget the point on the eye. I also stuck all 3 parts together. And here you can see how this word die looks. It is so beautiful. It's time to stamp the sentiment that says I miss you, and I will be using the 2x3 Life Sucks Without You stamp. I'm going to ink up my stamp with black hybrid ink from Picket Fence Studios. I didn't get a good impression, so I will ink up again my stamp, and this time it looks good enough. I placed in position all the elements on top of my background, and I will add glue to see them in place. Just a friendly reminder not to forget to adhere the point in the eye. I will cover this card with a stamping block, so everything remains in place while the glue dries. By the way, this is a new product from Picket Fence Studios, and it's called Gem Pickup Tool, and it works really great. Off screen, I added a white folded note card at the back of this panel using glue. Okay, finally I'm going to add some gems from Fire Gem Mixes, which is also a new product from last release. I'm only picking up the yellow gems for this card because they match the gold Seriously Wear die, and they also come in 3 different sizes, which is quite handy. Now this card is finished, and I need to confess that this is one of my favorite cards that I have made. I really hope you like it, and thank you so much for stopping by. See you next time.